Everybody, this is David. Welcome to ECBA 406. I am coming to you today from one of the ferries in the North Puget Sound going from Bremerton, Washington over to downtown Seattle. Ferries are an important form of transportation here in the Pacific Northwest. If you've never been here before, I would encourage you to come up and experience this. Rather than build bridges and roads and everything else, there are ferries that go all over the state up here to the islands and a bunch of different areas. And so today I have these earplugs in, or not earplugs in, but I have my microphone on, mainly because there are 400 high school students on this ferry going over to some museums in Seattle. So I am not alone on this today. So hopefully you can hear this as I try and speak over the noise around here. Well, first of all, for many of you, this is your last class in the degree program, so I just have to give you a congratulations and say, again, congratulations on a wonderful requirement. I know what it's like, having done this for many years now, the dedication that it takes for adult working students who many have children and all the demands that are on you from a time perspective. So bully for you. Again, congratulations on your accomplishment. And if this is your final class, then, even one higher congratulations for you. So I do these videos every week for a reason. One is I try and recap the prior week's lessons and to talk to you a bit about those, to give you some of my input, some of my experience on how I would approach the topics. But then I give you also a preview of the upcoming week's lesson to give you some ideas on some of the key things that I see moving forward to hopefully give you a little additional focus on the papers going forward. So what I wanted to do here is just to welcome you to the course and then give you a Lesson 1 introduction. And so Lesson 1 this week in Discussion 1 talks about writing requirements. Now, this may be a little odd for you because most of the time you do an introduction in these. And my assumption is that most of you have been in classes together, so I'm not going to go through that today, but I really wanted to focus on some of the writing requirements that I have for this class. So any type of written paper, any assignment that you have for this class needs to follow a certain format. You need to have a cover page, you need to have an introduction heading and section, you need to have body headings in your paper, and you also need to have a conclusion section with a heading in your paper, and you need to have a reference page to highlight any of the outside sources that you use in your writing. Now, I don't do that because I'm an academic. As many of you know who've had me in a class before, my background's in corporate business, it's not in higher education. And so I do this to make sure that you're clear in your writing, you're clear in the proposals that you develop, because my hope is that as you go forward in business and you go forward in your professional lives, that writing clarity is really important, because people get inundated with hundreds of things every week. And if you're not clear in your writing, then they have a chance to just throw it away. And that's what I used to do. I mean, if I wasn't really clear on what someone was asking me to do when I was the head of sales for Conagra, I threw it in the trash. And so clarity and being able to communicate and form and flow and all that, very important in writing today, also important in business and your professional lives. So Discussion 1 just really has you take a look at some of the things that I have in the announcement section, which, by the way, on the announcement section, make sure that you look at the announcements every time you log into the course. Sometimes I put some surprise things in there, sometimes I put some tips in there. Each week I'll have one of these videos in there that you'll be able to look at and view as well. So make sure that you look at that. In there right now I have some information on what I require for papers, so that's very important that you read that. Assignment 1 this week is about corporate social responsibility. Now, you may have heard this term before. You may have heard a term called the triple bottom line. And in essence, what this is all about is companies today are looking at how can they approach business from ways other than just simply to make money. And so the consumer and the workers and other stakeholders have really pressured companies to look at things much greater than just making money. How do they impact the environment? What are their ethical standards? Those types of things. So that's what I want you to take a look at to provide a foundation for business today. And then you're going to have a quiz over the reading materials that you have this week. I would encourage you to make sure for those quizzes, the lectures that are presented in the class really highlight a lot of the key things, and a lot of the quiz questions come directly from those lectures. So if you haven't, if you just read the textbook, sometimes you may miss some of the emphasis that's placed in some of the lectures. So I would encourage you to do that. What this class is all about, it's called the Capstone Course, and what it's about is really drawing together from a lot of different things in the classes leading up to this. So you may have some areas that you've repeated from marketing, management, human resources, and other classes. But that's by design, because what we're trying to do in the capstone is put everything together, wrap a pretty, put a ribbon on top of it and a bow, and then send you off into the wild, wide world of business or professional areas or whatever that you're looking for. All right? Well, again, welcome to the course. Again, congratulations if this is your final course. I will chat with you every week on one of these videos. In the meantime, if you have any questions or comments for me, you have my telephone number in the syllabus, you have my email address. Even though I travel a whole lot, I'm always accessible, so don't let that frighten you off, okay? So have a great week, study hard, and I'll chat with you soon. Take care.